Okay, we have prayed and pledged, and we have a quorum here, but before we get started to the business of this meeting, Chairman Duncan, do you have any words to say for our staff that's worked so hard?
I do. I just want to take a moment to thank all those who have worked. Frankly, some folks work 24/7, sleeping in the EOC, Emergency Operations Center. Glenn Kennedy, with the leadership that you provided, our operations, as well as Sean Granado. No, it can be sketchy to try to call out individual names, and so you just can't name everybody. But it's been a fantastic effort considering what we've been through. I've heard the multiplier of 5. I've heard the multiplier of 7 times the ice storm, and so it's just been a very, very heavy lift. Very proud of staff. I also want to thank Georgia Power too. Stephen King's done a good job of staying in touch with us, and I believe we're at 5,000-ish.
Sean, what's the latest?
5,300, about half are Georgia Power, and the other half are Jefferson Electric. So I know that those 5,000 people are not happy, but I get it when you started it with, I believe our outage was 99.3% of all the connections, not houses, but the connections in Georgia, in Columbia County had no power. I'd like to know where the 0.7% was.
Yeah.
At any rate, we've come a long way in the last 10, 11, 12 days, and so just want to say thank you, staff, for everything you've done.
And I will say that as we've been with the governor and other elected officials throughout the week, I've heard so many compliments. And I know some folks on the state level are very careful about singling out one county being better than others, but I repeatedly heard state leaders tell each other, Columbia County's got it together. They're the gold standard, and I'm so proud to be part of, not under the circumstances, but I'm so proud to be part of a team that's able to do what we did. Okay, enough of the mushy stuff. Let's get busy. We've got minutes of the previous meeting in front of you, gentlemen. May I have an approval of such? I will admit I didn't have internet, so I haven't read all of
Motion to
mine.
approve.
Second.
Minutes approved, and do we have any changes for the agenda?
No, ma'am. Ready for your approval.
Thank you very much. We have, let's see, for presentations, we have somebody from Leadership Columbia County with us today. Wave at me. Okay, stand up and tell us your name and where you work. Very good. Thank you for being with us. Thank you. And we have a speaker this morning. We have a request to speak. David Stewart. Hey, come to the front. Tell us your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. My name is David Stewart. I live at 1079 Conn Drive here in Evans, Georgia. I'm standing before you all as leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The area I'm responsible stretches from Lincoln County up north all the way to Emmanuel County down south. We are 9 congregations. Specifically in Columbia County, we have 5 congregations, 3 that meet in the building just up the street that just got power last night. We're very happy. They're at 835 North Bel Air Road, and then our other one out in Harlem. With about 2,000 members here, we just wanted to report back that we are happy to work with the county and support the county in any way. We always appreciate all of the feedback and the help that we receive. I think we share the assessment that this, in comparison to the ice storm, I think the last time we had to wear our yellow shirts in the community was for the ice storm, and now we're back.
I remember.
And so we're happy to work with everyone, all organizations. Since the ice storm occurred, and this leads into, you do have an agenda item for Eagle View Disaster Response Program. The advances in technology have been significant. We've been very appreciative for those at crisiscleanup.org, and especially for everyone here in the county who has put out the word about the Crisis Cleanup Hotline phone number. Of course, people now that they have power can also go to the website itself and request assistance. We, just to report back, this past weekend, and because we're all volunteers, we have no professional clergy. I'm an attorney myself. And it's always scary when you give an attorney a chainsaw, but we are doing what we can. This past weekend, we were able to bring in congregations from Columbia, South Carolina. I can't give a county-specific report, but I will say that here on the Augusta side of the river and then across in North Augusta, we had over 5,500 man-hours Saturday and Sunday. This past Saturday and Sunday, we were able to clean up over 250 homes. We hope to dwarf that this upcoming weekend. I've been able to arrange for congregations to come from Atlanta and then again from Columbia, South Carolina. They'll be coming down. So you'll see a lot of yellow shirts. We'll be camping a couple hundred folks over at our little private campground off of Furious Ferry Road near Stallings Island Middle School. But we welcome everyone to join with us. It's a wonderful, beautiful county. It's great to work with all the county government. We're going to continue to do this every weekend, but we would just encourage everybody that needs help to reach out through Crisis Cleanup. It avoids duplication of effort. Like I said, Faith Communities, any organization that registers is able to access the information about who needs help. My time is coming to a close. I do want to give a couple anecdotes just because it shows what can happen in our community. We all work together. I, of course, can't only take care of my home county. I spent a considerable amount of time in Richmond County over the weekend, but I did put a good bit of work in here in Columbia County, and I was in the Shadowmore subdivision there off of Columbia and Bel Air Road, and I just to say that I two residents, and I always try to protect everybody's privacy when we help them out with crews, but we had a crew down from past Columbia, South Carolina that had some heavy equipment, and it was a 73-year-old African-American widow, and next door about a 74-year-old Caucasian widow. They'd lived next door to each other for 40 years. Their husbands both served in the military, and they'd passed away, and they both, were devastated. And then their daughters, who were born a week apart, best friends their whole life, drove up, and we were able to work together with them and help them and clean up both of their yards and get the stuff out there. And it was great to see how this brings people together, reinforces age-old relationships. I would just say that I echo the appreciation from the county leadership to all the county staff. Thank you so much, especially our friends at EMA. We appreciate them. And once again, I can't put enough plugs in for calling Crisis Cleanup, and so we at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints can assist. Thank you.
David, I just want to
Thank
say
you.
thank you, because I remember the ice storm and all the work that your team did, and I did. So frankly, I have a picture of the Facebook page, or not the Facebook page, the link, and I've been sharing, that's the Crisis Cleanup org, that's where I have funneled everybody to, so I just really appreciate y'all's efforts.
They're coming in every day. I mean, I've got the app right here. I don't have the technology. I don't know the technology. I mean,
That's okay, I don't
if you see it all, it's just mind-boggling the number of people that need help, and but we're here to help out. And if anybody has any questions or anything, I'll sit through and be available for anybody.
Thanks to all.
Good for the Augusta Press to highlight that.
Thank you so much for all y'all are doing. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Here to share today.
All right.
Hey, I have nothing on the consent agenda. Moving into debate, Mr. Johnson, what do you have for us today?
First item for your consideration is just an amended document. This is going to be a name change for our insurance broker. Currently, we are with a company called AccuSure LLC. That name is changing to AccuSure Southeast Partners Insurance Services LLC. It's the same broker, same person we've been working with after we went through a process of choosing that broker. So nothing changes other than the name. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next.
The next one is an item that was going to the commission, then got pushed to committee, so it says the item did not go to committee, but actually it is now. This is the appointment of Barry Fleming to serve on the hospital authority to fill the unexpired term of Ronnie Kurtz, who had to resign take a position out of state. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. And Internal Services, Ms. Reese, you've been kind of busy
First,
since our last committee meeting. How have you had time to prepare all of this?
Luckily, I had my agenda items done prior to Helene hitting the county.
Okay.
So that was good.
I'm amazed that we have gotten anything done.
The first item I have for you is the required budget adjustment for our audit. As you know, the Georgia Department of Audits requires that all of our departments be within the legal level of budgetary control within our financial statements, which is the department level. So I can't have any department shown as being over budget. So we have to do a little cleanup at the end of the year to fix all of that. So I have a list of all of the departments that do need adjusting. There's not too many of them in the general fund, and all of them have reasonable explanations. Some of it is just personnel issues. Some of it is things beyond our control, like our liability insurance, things of that nature. We are also going to be transferring $13 million over into the TABT fund for capital projects as needed. And then there are a few other funds that need adjusting as well. Most of these are where the expenditures went over due to increased activity, but because of that, we also had increased revenues to offset it. If the revenues weren't enough, they had money in reserves to offset it. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Very good. And this is a look back, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but considering the activity that we had going on here in the county in the past 12 days, I know that we bought a lot of fuel, got a lot of overtime. How do we budget for that?
Well, of course, it wasn't budgeted, but what we're going to do is set up a special line code within our budget, probably TABT, I think is what
TABT.
me and Scott have discussed. And that way we can account for it separately should we receive FEMA reimbursement or any type of grants to offset it. We'll have a good accounting of it.
Very good. Thank you. And you have one more item for us today?
Yes. The next item is a safety grant that we have been awarded through ACCG. This is a grant up to the amount of $8,500. We plan to use the funding to purchase equipment and supplies related to enhanced protection for medical calls in fire services and within our SWAT division in the sheriff's office. So staff recommends approval of receipt of this grant.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
Madam Chair,
Did we approve?
we need to go back to
Item?
approve the budget adjustment.
Thank you. I started asking questions and didn't. May I have an approval of the first
Move to
item?
consent on the budget adjustment.
Second.
Thank you. So moved, and also so moved on the workers' comp grant. Thank you, Ms. Reese. Technology Services.
Good morning. The first, or the only item I have for your consideration today is the Eagle View Disaster Response Program Agreement. You may be familiar with the name Pictometry. That's a company that we deal with to do oblique ortho photos every other year. And that essentially is, they'll fly the county and do 45-degree pictures. So you don't just see a house or a building from straight up and down. You see it from really all angles, 45 degrees around the house, north, south, east, and west. As part of our agreement with them, they have a disaster response program where they will come and fly the county in the event that we have a disaster of some kind. They reached out to us last week and said they'd fly the county. And this agreement essentially will permit us to do that flight with delivery within 24 to 48 hours of the capture of the imagery. And the cost of this is $40,320.
How long does it take them to fly the whole county?
About 2 days.
Gentlemen?
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Thank you, Mr. Blanchard. Having no other items for my consent agenda, do we have any legal matters? Thank you. Staff report.
Just for your information, personnel savings year to date, you can see that number is now a little over 500,000, 510,182. I did want to note that our turnover rate for the month of September was the lowest, I believe it's been in some time, maybe ever. So that was good news. And then also want to highlight that our applications in the month of August were the highest of the year, and again, I believe the highest ever. So People are choosing Columbia County, and people are staying in Columbia County, which is what we were working on, recruitment and retention.
Any questions, gentlemen?
No, ma'am.
Internal services.
Yes, the first report I have for you is the year-to-date budget report. This is for the month ended September 30th. We should be operating around 25% of the budget. Everyone is well within their budget at this time.
Thank you. And SPOST?
Yes, the SPOS report, we collected just over $3 million for the month of August. Our average annual percentage increase is now 6.18%. This amount was slightly less than last month, 0.83% less than last month, but 10.83% greater than the same month last year.
We know what to attribute that to, inflation or any particular?
Good. Your guess is as good as anybody else's.
And the investment report.
Yes, the investment report for your review.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions on these reports? If none, we'll accept those. Do we have any other commissioner or public comment? Commissioners, do y'all have anything to say? All right, I have nothing for executive session. So we will adjourn the MIS meeting and return for development planning services in 3 minutes. Thank you.